Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/AskReddit. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. People who meditate regularly, how does it really help? Zen monk/priest here. I can only speak to the style of meditation I do. It's called Zazen, Japanese for sitting Zen, or Shikantaza, Japanese for just sitting. I began meditating, we call it sitting, because of some serious shit going on in life. Most PPL come to meditation for this reason. I, like many, believed meditation is to clear the thoughts, feelings, and emotions that I had. It took me quite some time to realize sitting is not about this. Rather, it is realizing that just like the stomach digests food, the brain digests reality. We gotta plan our day, follow recipes, study, budget, and all the other tasks life has for us. The conditions in life are what give rise to the specific thoughts that arise. For instance, thoughts about someone who recently died are arising more lately. Last week this time they rarely were crossing my mind. Whatever is going on in life are right the conditions for the thoughts we're having. Like warmth, moisture and darkness are the conditions for a seed to sprout. Again, the brain is digesting reality. In this way, sitting is about experiencing that thoughts arise on their own and also go away on their own. That's not to say they won't return. We also experience that thoughts go away on their own without having to act or speak on them. Usually if someone is angered and have angry thoughts, it is not a pleasant feeling. So they take action to try to alleviate that feeling by acting or speaking out. Sitting is an opportunity to feel and think anything really and just deal with the feelings and thoughts too. It very much has the feeling of cleaning off a dirty mirror. You can see things more clearly. I mean that in the way that there is an unmistakable clarity that comes from a regular meditation practice. Situations which seemed insurmountable don't carry as much emotional weight. There's much peace. My main practice is below. Tunglen meditation, sending and receiving. When you meditate, you focus on the breath. And you breath in the suffering of the world, including yours, and breath out peace and joy, harmony back into the world. Life is suffering. And there is nothing we can do to change that. Through meditation we realize this, and we meditate to grow our sense of impermanence. That all things change, that nothing ever stays the same. And we become able to be calm and peaceful during these uncomfortable moments of suffering in our lives. It does not mean that you will become fully enlightened, or that suffering will leave you entirely. It means that at some point you will become to feel more connected to the whole, and less individualistic in terms of your struggles and suffering. We all suffer. Suffering is universal. Probably the most advantageous part of meditation that I've experienced is dealing with difficult emotions, fear, anger, sadness. Emotions are pieces of us. They are small parts that make us up. We are not these things. And what I mean is that when we experience anger, we have a tendency to say, "I'm angry," or "I'm sad." If we're a collection of all that makes us up, we cannot simply become an emotion. We experience these emotions. And once we realize that we can step to the side and treat ourselves with compassion, because we are suffering. It's very much imagining that you create a second you who observes the current you and treats you like a sick friend. We cannot have total compassion for others until we can have compassion for ourselves. This joke sums it up. A woman was standing in a huge field. And she spots a man on horseback galloping wildly towards her. As the horse and rider are passing her, she yells out, "Where are you going?" And the rider responds, "I don't know. Ask the horse." And we are very much the rider, and the horse is our emotions. We are completely at their mercy because we struggle against the path. Once we develop the capacity to be the woman in the field, and observe these experiences, or to become the man on the horse, and to simply be led to the end of the experience, we will continue to suffer. If you are looking to start meditating, the biggest piece of advice I can give you is to practice it. It will be uncomfortable in the beginning. Simply sit and attempt to empty your mind. Focus on your breathing. When thoughts come into your mind, entertain them and let them pass. If you get hung up on a thought, simply turn your focus back to the breathing. Eventually things will fall into place. Namaste. It is a very powerful tool, and yes, it works. However, as another user said, you have to work at it. The first month really is you sitting there trying to focus your attention on your thoughts, ideally an app like Headspace if you're just starting out and struggling to do so. The whole point is recognizing your thoughts, but at a distance without getting distracted by them. In everyday life, this translates into the ability to take a mental step back without negatively reacting to the craziness around you, like stressful work situations where you may otherwise lose your cool, get frustrated, or just shut down. When I started, it took at least 3 months before I began recognizing the benefits. At some point I missed a few days, then a few weeks, and now it's been years. So you do need to stay on top of it. That being said, once you become well versed, you can meditate just about anywhere and in any situation, even if it's just for small brief moments throughout the day. From a neurobiological perspective, it helps get your parasympathetic nervous system back online. Our sympathetic nervous system is great when we're in danger. When you're being chased by a bear, you better be panicked. But if you lose the bear, you don't want to be stuck in that sympathetic response forever, because it's uncomfortable, distracting, and literally energy draining. On a cognitive level, the parasympathetic system is triggered when we can identify that there is no longer a threat. Meditation involves that cognitive process of looking at your surroundings in a neutral manner, that is, actively not seeing them as a threat. It's often coupled with a relaxed posture and deep breathing, which help to somatically reinforce that you are safe. The vagal theory suggests that deep breathing, which utilizes our diaphragm, triggers a nerve that goes from the gut to the hypothalamus, sending a signal that you are safe and calm and don't need to have so much energy going to your sympathetic nervous system. It was my New Year's resolution in 2019 to meditate every night, and I haven't missed a night since. I know there's different types of meditation. At first, I tried focusing on my breathing, but my thoughts were always so loud and chaotic. So, I switched it up and started reflecting more. Now, I breathe in positive thoughts and breathe out negative thoughts about my day or my life in general. It has helped my anxiety so much. It changed my life, got me back to somewhere I could function as a better person. I felt a little silly when I started doing it, but it was a great decision. It got me back to a functioning mindset as well. I noticed my middle schoolers, I'm a teacher, were a lot calmer. Students react to the vibe teachers send out. It helped a lot. I feel more grounded, less anxious. My inner monologue is calmer and a bit slower. I knew this whole thing. Part of why I became interested in meditation though was seeing reports on schools having students meditate. Have you seen such reports? If so, what do you think about the results? Does your school do this? It helps me greatly in managing my anxiety that is caused by PTSD. Obviously it won't cure it, but it definitely helps. Agreed. I used to struggle to fall asleep and then wake up panicked multiple times in the night. I'd have racing thoughts all night long. With a guided meditation every night, I fall asleep in minutes and only wake up occasionally when I have to pee. Even on the rare occasions where I have nightmares that wake me up in a panic, doing body-skin mediation and breathing can get me calm and back to sleep in minutes. I wonder if it could help me with my anxiety attacks around thunderstorms. Basically, meditation will help you separate yourself from your thoughts, so that you don't fall for your own bullshit as much. Well put. Peace and bliss and calm. It's totally worth it. Much love and peace to you. Exactly this, but look at meditation as working out. Most people don't do it long enough to truly grasp the best of its effects. Just like most of us won't work out enough to get that six-pack, because we lack the discipline, most people lack the discipline to meditate daily, and to get the mental six-pack we'd achieve if we did stick with it consistently. It's helped the way I react to my emotions, and allowed me to be more in control. It gave me an inner peace, when I had nothing but anger for the world. I think with repetition, you become familiar with that zone where you are calm and relaxed and transcendent. So anytime you start feeling stressed, you can think about that calm feeling, and muscle memory will slow down your breathing and your heart rate, and you will be calmer. It's a mini vacation from stressing out. If you take a daily vacation, that relaxing effect becomes cumulative. You know how sometimes you've been reading for a couple minutes, and you suddenly realize you weren't listening to any of it, and you have to go back to the start of the page. That happens much less. I've had a lot of terrible shit happen to me a long time ago. Abuse, neglect, things like that. I've gotten over what happened, but the depression still remains. Worse still, I get panic attacks every now and then. It used to be so bad that it would happen almost every night. But about 5 years ago, one of my best friends introduced me to meditation. That night was the best sleep I had ever had at that point. Nowadays I meditate every night before bed. I don't know if it's the meditation itself or whether the meditation is acting like a placebo. All I know is if I meditate before bed the chances of having a panic attack is slim. And if I don't, the chances are greater. Is it possible learning to meditate when you have tinnitus? I feel like whenever I try to meditate, I can't focus long enough. I have tinnitus too. Try focusing on it instead of trying to ignore it. Listen to those sounds. Let that be your focus. It helped me a ton in getting a handle on my depression and anxiety. It gives you a chance to extract yourself from your thoughts and examine them, rather than getting swept away in them, and I found a lot of them kind of wear themselves out for me if I sit and watch patiently. The metaphor that always springs to mind is taking a glass of water out of a muddy river, and letting it sit still until the silt settles to the bottom. It'll get stirred up again when you start to move, but you at least get a chance for a drink of clean water, and you know you'll be able to let it sit and settle again later when you need to. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.